It may be a bad shot, but this is real. I mean, the bones, that's real.
Yeah, my bones, yeah. I'm 5'7" and thin. I can understand what you mean.
But that's not just thin.
No, what is it? Diane, tell me. Do you know?
It's scary thin.
I can believe what you feel. I can believe that. Do you really know? Did you really know?
No, you know.
Thank you.
Anorexia,
No way.
they've written it.
No way.
Bulimia.
No way.
So lately, I've been getting many requests from everyone to review the year 2002, and you guys really wanted me to talk about it, so here it is. 2002 was a pretty stacked year from start to finish with some very notable pop culture moments that we will never forget. I turned 7 this year and remember most of the events that took place this year. This was a pretty interesting year where the 1990s was officially over and the 2000s decade truly began. I feel like this year had somewhat of a bittersweet yet lighthearted feel to it, as we were still recovering from the crazy events that took place from the previous year. Nonetheless, 2002 was a pretty fun and memorable year filled with many nostalgic moments that still get talked about today. Throughout the year, we witnessed the release of many larger-than-life blockbusters, celebrity scandals, iconic TV series, technology, major sports moments, and musical releases that kept us entertained all year. This was just an interesting year with so much going on where you just had to be there. I thought it would be fun to take a look back at the year 2002 and review all of the defining moments, making this one of the most notable years of the Y2K era and of the 2000s decade. Like I mentioned earlier, 2002 was a pretty memorable year that had a slightly bittersweet and lighthearted feel to it, as we were still recovering from 9/11. This being the first year after the attacks, we saw a massive shift in the way we lived our everyday lives, where things just felt different. And I did a whole video review on 2001. If you guys want to check that out, the link will be here somewhere on the screen. Throughout the year, there were just many vigils, ceremonies, and tributes dedicated to the victims, as well as uplifting everyone as we were picking up the pieces and moving forward from what happened a year prior. Almost every sporting event and award show included some sort of tribute where unity and empowerment became a central focus of the year. President George W. Bush addressed the nation with his infamous Axis of Evil speech, while at this year's Oscars, Tom Cruise gave an opening monologue in dedication to the victims despite speculation and suggestions that the festivities be postponed or canceled due to timing. During his monologue, he stated that it was the job of filmmakers to make films during troubling times, aka run me my money even though we're going through difficult times. The NFL postponed a week of regular season games and moved the league's playoff schedule back due to the recent events. As a result, this year's Super Bowl was rescheduled from the original date of January 27th to February 3rd, becoming the first Super Bowl played in February. Irish band U2 gave a heartfelt and memorable performance at this year's halftime show, honoring the victims, where the names appeared behind him on an LED wall, all while wearing an American flag jacket. Speaking of major sports moments, also at this year's Super Bowl, the New England Patriots defeated the St. Louis Rams with a score of 20-17, making this the first ever Super Bowl win from the Patriots. This would also be Tom Brady's first of many appearances at the Super Bowl, which is just iconic. The LA Angels won the World Series 4-3 over the San Francisco Giants, while the LA Lakers defeated the New Jersey Nets, winning their third straight NBA title. Shaquille O'Neal wins his third straight NBA Finals MVP award, and Coach Phil Jackson wins his 9th title and his 3rd three-peat. Yao Ming, Lennox Lewis, Alexei Jagudin, Irina Slutskaya, Andre Agassi, Thomas Johansson, Albert Costa, Serena Williams, Ernie Els, and Tiger Woods were among some of the hottest athletes of the year. In 2002, technology saw many advancements in several areas, including the rise of wireless internet, the increasing popularity of mobile devices and the launch of many new digital platforms. This was the year where we saw the launch of BlackBerry cell phones, the second generation iPod, Firefox, and Xbox Live, as well as many others. Some of the most popular video games released this year included Madden NFL 2003, Final Fantasy XI, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, Jet Set Radio Future, Metroid Prime, NBA Live 2003, NBA 2K3, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, WWE SmackDown Shut Your Mouth, Resident Evil, Super Mario Sunshine, The Legend of Zelda The Wind Walker, Splinter Cell, Mafia, Ratchet & Clank, Battlefield 1942, Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, and Kingdom Hearts, as well as many others. Throughout the year, we were fed a good amount of major shocking celebrity pop culture moments ranging in a variety of topics that had us entertained and hooked for weeks on end. Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr. got married, as well as Gwen Stefani and her longtime boyfriend Gavin Rossdale. Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey tied the knot, and Shaquille O'Neal and Shani Nelson, amongst many others. Lisa Marie Presley and Nicolas Cage also got married this year to then divorce later that year after a short 3 months due to irreconcilable differences. Ben Affleck was named People's Sexiest Man Alive, while Nicole Kidman was named Most Beautiful. Justin Timberlake was on the cover of Rolling Stones magazine, while he and Britney Spears broke up, which was a big deal back then. Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer hosted the second annual BET Awards for the second time in a row. Winona Ryder was sentenced 3 years probation after being found guilty of stealing thousands of dollars worth of merchandise from Saks Fifth Avenue. Ex-President Jimmy Carter wins the Nobel Peace Prize. Mariah Carey's iconic MTV Cribs episode. Rosie O'Donnell came out as gay. R. Kelly is charged with 21 counts of having schmexual intercourse with a minor after videotapes came out being released all over the internet. Elon Musk founded the company SpaceX. The Osbournes premiered on television. Michael Jackson dangled his son Prince Michael II over a hotel balcony. And Whitney Houston had her infamous interview with Diane Sawyer.
First of all, let's get one thing straight. It's cheap. I make too much money to ever smoke. Let's get that straight, okay? We don't do that. Is whack.
At this year's Oscars, Whoopi Goldberg hosted the show for the 4th time with an average of 42 million viewers. This show was actually one of the longest in Oscar history with a runtime of 4 hours and 23 minutes, which is just crazy to me. But then again, this was when people were actually watching award shows and would talk about it the next day at school, work, or church. This was also the first year where the Best Animated Feature category was introduced, where Shrek would go on to become the first to win this award. A Beautiful Mind won 4 awards that night, including Best Directing and Best Picture. Other big winners of the night included Jennifer Connelly, Jim Broadbent, and Ron Howard, as well as many others. Denzel Washington became the second black male to win the Academy Award for Best Actor for his role in Training Day, following Sidney Poitier for 1963's Lilies of the Field, while Halle Berry became the first and only black female to win the Academy Award for Best Actress for her role in Monsters Ball. Halle Berry would go on to accept her award while having an out-of-body experience, providing us with one of my favorite memes. And this was actually a big deal, seeing people of color win in the main categories, as we usually get snubbed and overlooked, but that's another video for another day. This year's Grammys took place in February, where Alicia Keys was the biggest winner of the night. She went home with 5 Grammys, including Best New Artist and Song of the Year for Fallen, while U2 won 4 awards, including Record of the Year and Best Rock Album. We also got a surprise appearance from Patti LaBelle during the Lady Marmalade performance, which was iconic. Other major winners from the night included Coldplay, Nelly Furtado, Usher, Missy Elliott, Sade, Outkast, Gladys Knight, Destiny's Child, Eric Clapton, and Christina Aguilera, Pink, Lil' Kim, and Maya for their Lady Marmalade collab, as well as many others. Now enjoy these random fashion looks from the year. Many Gen Z stars were born this year, including Sadie Sink, Maddie Ziegler, Benson Boone, Jenna Ortega, Finn Wolfhard, Jacob Sartorius, Sky Jackson, Gaten Matarazzo, NLE Choppa, Isaac Presley, Asher Angel, Ace Green, and Tyla, amongst many others. We also witnessed the deaths of many celebrities, including Dudley Moore, James Coburn, Richard Harris, Lionel Hampton, Ruth Handler, Milton Berle, John Thaw, Billy Wilder, Peggy Lee, John Entwistle, Queen Elizabeth the Queen Mother, and so many more. In April of this year, we we said goodbye to Lisa Left Eye Lopez of TLC due to a vehicle crash in Honduras. Everyone else in the vehicle survived the crash, while Lisa unfortunately lost her life being thrown out of the vehicle after flipping over multiple times. Lisa was only 30 years old at the time, which is really young, and had a promising career ahead of her. Because of this, her death was actually the biggest celebrity death story of the year. Chili and T-Boz made their first public appearance as a duo without Left Eye in a teary-eyed tribute at this year's MTV Video Music Awards, where they honored their group member.
This is so hard because it's such a reality check because it's only two of us up here.
Also at this year's VMAs, Jimmy Fallon hosted the show for the first time. While Britney Spears and Michael Jackson wore these outfits, Brandy made her first public appearance after giving birth wearing this outfit, and Christina Aguilera wore whatever this is while presenting an award to her arch nemesis at the time, Eminem.
Interesting. Eminem.
Thank you. Yo, I don't know what to say when I be getting these awards, man.
From start to finish, 2002 was a pretty fun and memorable year for the film industry. 2002 was the first year to see 3 films cross the $800 million milestone, surpassing the previous year record of 2. We also witnessed a wide variety of major film releases with everything from highly anticipated sequels to fresh original concepts. Throughout the year, we saw the release of many major blockbusters in a wide variety of genres, including horror, sci-fi, action-adventure, romance, animation, comedies, musicals, and so much more, making this year one of the best of the 2000s decade in my opinion. After the massive success of the first Harry Potter and the Lord of the Rings films from the previous year, both franchises quickly returned to the big screen for their highly anticipated sequels in 2002. The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, and Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets were among some of the hottest films of 2002, where both surpassed $800 million at the box office. These two film franchises were responsible for bringing the fantasy adventure genre to the mainstream during the early 2000s, bringing in billions of dollars in ticket sales, merchandise, as well as gaining a global fan base. You just had to be there back in the early 2000s, as they were both extremely popular and groundbreaking films. Being the second installment of the Harry Potter franchise, the story follows Harry's second year at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, where the heir of Salazar Slytherin opens the Chamber of Secrets, unleashing a monster that turns the school students into stone. Upon release, the film was praised by critics due to its darker plot, set performances, visual effects, while having a story appropriate for younger audiences. It became a critical and commercial success, grossing $878 million worldwide, making it the second highest grossing film of the year behind the Lord of the Rings sequel. Released December 18th, 2002, The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers is an epic high fantasy adventure film directed by Peter Jackson and is the sequel to the Lord of the Rings trilogy. The film features an ensemble cast including Elijah Wood, Ian McKellen, Liv Tyler, Viggo Mortensen, Sean Astin, Cate Blanchett, Orlando Bloom, and Andy Serkis, amongst many other names. Continuing the plot of the previous film, it intercuts 3 storylines. Frodo and Sam continue their journey toward Mordor to destroy the One Ring, now allied with Gollum, the ring's untrusty former bearer. The film was acclaimed by critics and audiences who considered it a landmark in filmmaking and an achievement in the fantasy film genre. It received praise for its direction, action sequences, performances, musical score, costuming, and visual effects, particularly for the character Gollum. It grossed over $923 million worldwide during its original theatrical run, making it the highest grossing film of 2002, and at the time of its release, the 3rd highest grossing film of all time behind the Titanic and Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Like the other films in the trilogy, the Twin Towers, not the Twin Towers. Like the other films in the trilogy, The Two Towers is widely recognized as one of the greatest and most influential films ever made, as well as one of the greatest sequels in cinema history. After the success of The Phantom Menace back in 1999, Star Wars Episode II Attack of the Clones was released to theaters in the spring of 2002 to great success. Attack of the Clones is an epic space opera film directed by George Lucas and is a sequel to The Phantom Menace. The film stars Ewan McGregor, Natalie Portman, Hayden Christensen, Ian McDermott, Kid, Samuel L. Jackson, Christopher Lee, Anthony Daniels, Kenny Baker, and Frank Oz, as well as many other big names. It received mixed reviews from critics, where the film's increased focus on action was praised, and the characters and dialogue were regarded more critically. Despite this, it actually performed really well at the box office, becoming one of the most popular films of the year. In March of this year, newcomer Blue Sky Studios Animation released their first major film, Ice Age, to theaters, and to great success. Ice Age is an animated adventure comedy film that quickly became one of the most popular animated films of all time. It features the voices of Ray Romano, John Leguizamo, and Dennis Leary as the main trio of characters. Set during the days of the Pleistocene Ice Age, the film centers around three main characters: Manny, a no-nonsense woolly mammoth; Slid, a loudmouth, talkative ground sloth; and Diego, a sarcastic saber-toothed lion, who come across a human baby and work together to return it to its tribe as they try to avoid the coming Ice Age. These three have to be one of the most memorable and standout trios in all of animation, as their on-screen chemistry just worked so well. Literally every scene they were in was just so funny. The film also occasionally follows Scrat, a speechless saber-toothed squirrel who is desperately searching for a place in the ground to bury his acorn, which became a running gag throughout the rest of the franchise. And besides the trio, he's honestly one of the funniest characters in this entire film. It was a box office success and grossed over $383 million at the box office, making it the 8th highest grossing film of 2002 and the highest grossing animated film of the year. This film initiated a franchise being followed by several sequels, spin-offs, specials, shorts, and video games, making it one of the most popular film franchises of the 2000s.
Whoa! Woo! Yeah! Who's up for round two?
Walt Disney Studios released their 42nd animated film to theaters this summer with Lilo and Stitch. The film tells the story of Lilo, a lonely Hawaiian girl who adopts Stitch, a dangerous but adorable alien experiment, as her dog. I know Lilo was a little kid and this is just animation, but like as a kid I always wondered, how did she not notice that it just wasn't a dog? Because you know, dogs don't have blue fur or, you know, fangs and pointy ears like that. But whatever, she was a little kid and she was using her imagination, which is great. Together, they learn about family, friendship, and the importance of ohana, which means family, no one gets left behind. Lilo and Stitch was such a bizarre concept for a Disney film at the time, but paid off as it's one of the most memorable and unique films to come from their extensive catalog. It's one of their edgier Disney films, differing from their typical fairy tale stories. This was one of my favorite movies growing up, as I just loved the storyline, character dynamics, soundtrack, setting, and animation, which, speaking of, the film's use of watercolor backgrounds as well as the Hawaiian setting just gave it a nice, warm, and cozy feeling, making it one of the most gorgeous and visually appealing animated films of all time in my opinion. Lilo and Stitch received positive reviews from critics who praised the story, humor, charm, characters, and originality, making it a standout Disney film. The film's success made it a highlight of Disney's post-animation renaissance era in the 2000s, spawning a franchise that included 3 direct-to-video film sequels, 3 television series, and a live-action adaptation that was released in 2025. Perhaps the biggest film of 2002 was none other than the first ever live-action Spider-Man film. You just had to be there, as this was the movie to see this year. Based on the Marvel Comics character of the same name, Spider-Man is a 2002 American superhero film that was first released to theaters on May 4th of that year. Directed by Sam Raimi, it was the first installment of the Spider-Man trilogy and was one of the highest anticipated film releases of the year. This film stars big names including Tobey Maguire, Willem Dafoe, Kirsten Dunst, James Franco, Cliff Robertson, and Rosemary Harris, as well as many others. I'm sure everyone watching this has seen it before or already knows the story, but for those who don't know, awkward and shy teenager Peter Parker gains superhuman abilities after being bitten by a radioactive spider. It's your typical regular teenager by day and crime fighter by night trope that we've seen 100 different times. Peter Parker becomes Spider-Man, where he fights crime in New York City against the Green Goblin and many other criminals. The original movie trailer from 2001 was actually pulled from rotation and edited due to the Twin Towers being visible, and we all know what happened later that year. A few scenes in the film actually had to be digitally altered to remove the towers, although some people say that there's a scene in the movie where they forgot to edit it out. Let me know in the comments down below if you know what scene I'm talking about. Alongside the X-Men franchise, Spider-Man is credited for redefining defining the modern superhero genre and the summer blockbuster. The film received positive reviews from critics and audiences who praised Raimi's direction, the story, performances, visual effects, action sequences, and musical score. It was the first film to reach $100 million in a single weekend, as well as the most successful film based on a comic book at the time. Bringing in $826 million at the box office, it became the third highest grossing film of 2002, the highest grossing superhero film, and the sixth highest grossing film overall at the time of its release. Spider-Man became one of the most defining films of the 21st century, and possibly the biggest pop culture moment of the year. Other major films released in 2002 included the Men in Black sequel, Die Another Day, Signs, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, The Pianist, Catch Me If You Can, 28 Days Later, John Q, Minority Report, Sweet Home Alabama, Equilibrium, Treasure Planet, Chicago, 8 Mile, The Hot Chick, Mr. Deeds, Collateral Damage, Made in Manhattan, Spirit the Stallion of Cimarron, The Ring, The Bourne Identity, and the live-action Scooby-Doo movie, as well as many others. 2002 was a pretty fun and memorable year for television as we witnessed many new series debuts, premieres, and cancellations. This year saw the debuts of a wide variety of shows that would later become some of the most popular shows of the 2000s decade. Throughout the year, we witnessed a wide variety of new sitcoms, dramas, cartoons, talk shows, and reality TV that would really set the tone for the rest of the decade. Following the success of the Japanese manga series, Naruto premiered in late 2002 as one of the biggest animated series ever created. The show was able to capture elements of adventure, fantasy comedy, and martial arts, where it quickly became one of the most popular animes. Naruto was a young orphan ninja who seeks recognition from his peers and dreams of becoming the Hokage, the leader of the village hidden in the leaves. Like the manga, the anime series is divided into two separate parts. It was praised for its animation, art direction, action sequences, more mature tone, well-crafted character interactions, and balanced storytelling. The episodes are based on the first 27 volumes in part 1 of the manga, while some episodes feature original, self-contained storylines. With a total of 222 episodes and 5 seasons, Naruto became one of the most successful animes ever created. Despite airing in 2002, the show actually didn't air in the US until 2005. In the summer of 2002, Disney Channel premiered their newest series, Kim Possible, where it quickly became one of the defining shows on the network during the 2000s. Kim Possible is an animated action comedy series about a teenage girl who saves the world on a regular basis while coping with everyday issues such as cheerleading, family, peer pressure, school crushes, and homework. Her clumsy yet loyal friend Ron Stoppable aids her on their joint missions in every episode, which led to some really funny and memorable moments. As lovable as Ron was, he kind of felt like he was in the way most of the time, but was still a great and fun sidekick to Kim. Most of their missions involve stopping the evil plans of the mad scientist supervillain duo, Dr. Draken and his sidekick Shigo. The series was created to appeal to both girls and boys while parodying the James Bond franchise, as well as the spy and superhero films that were really popular at the time. The show was distinct from other Disney Channel shows with its use of self-referential humor, action sequences, and character development, and was mostly written in a sitcom format similar to The Proud Family. It also became the first Disney Channel animated series to be produced in high definition. The series premiered on June 7, 2002 and ended on September 7, 2007 after 87 episodes and 4 seasons. Kim Possible received critical acclaim, becoming one of Disney's top-rated and most popular series ever. So popular that people still have the ringtones and dress up as the characters for Halloween. The most watched and talked about show of the year was American Idol. American Idol is an American singing competition television series created by Simon Fuller that premiered on Fox from June 11, 2002 to April 7, 2016. It was on hiatus until March 11, 2018, when a revival of the series began airing on ABC. The concept of the series involves discovering unknown stars who compete to get signed to a label becoming the next big thing in music, with the winner determined by American viewers using phones, internet platforms, and text voting. Although many fans feel like the voting is rigged by producers who pre-pick who stays and leaves in the competition. But that's another video for another day. Despite the controversy and favoritism amongst the contestants and winners, American Idol had Americans in a chokehold with its fun, unique blend of competition, singing, reality TV elements, and interactivity, making it a groundbreaking show and something that we had never seen before on television up until this point. Fans fell in love with with the show's concept and got to know each contestant each week, making it feel more personable than most competition shows at the time. People also loved the live shows, interviews, and auditions, as the auditions would become a major highlight of each season.
I'll be holding you tight, and there's nowhere in the world I'd rather be.
Hit me when the wind blows, doesn't really matter to me.
Sometimes I love you, sometimes you make me blue.
Texas native Kelly Clarkson became the show's first winner during the season 1 finale back in 2002. Due to the success of the show, her career skyrocketed where she became a global superstar overnight, as well as one of the biggest breakout stars of the 21st century. Shortly after its first season, American Idol became the most popular show on television throughout the 2000s and became a major part of the American lexicon during its peak. The show was also known for the celebrity judges and panel and Ryan Seacrest as the host. The original 3 judges consisted of famous music producer Randy Jackson, 80s diva Paula Abdul, and music executive / manager Simon Cowell. Fans quickly fell in love with all 3 of them as their witty and humorous chemistry really made the show a fun and unique viewing experience. Paula was the easygoing, friendly one, Randy was the cool, laid-back yet stern one, and Simon was the blunt, straightforward one who was the hardest to impress out of the 3.
It's the way you look that's putting us off.
Yes, you have personality, but dogs have personality. the audition, if I'm being honest with you, was horrible.
Over the years, the show has seen many new lineup changes where the original 3 would go on to do other projects. Some notable American Idol judges over the years included Lionel Richie, Jennifer Lopez, Luke Bryan, Mariah Carey, Steven Tyler, Keith Urban, Harry Connick Jr., Katy Perry, and Nicki Minaj, amongst many other names. As of making this video, American Idol is actually still going on, which is just crazy to me because who still watches this show? Despite a decline in popularity over the years, American Idol has gone on to launch many careers and became one of the most iconic and influential shows in television history.
Pretty much thinking, how am I gonna sing this next song while I'm crying? So
other notable TV shows that premiered this year included What I Like About You, Codename Kids Next Door, The Dead Zone, Without a Trace, Half and Half, CSI Miami, The Shield, Monk, The Wire, Mucha Lucha, Fillmore, Firefly, Cyber Chase, Everwood, The Osbournes, The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, Max and Ruby, Liberty's Kids, The Bachelor, and The George Lopez Show, amongst many others.
You know, they don't make Hallmark cards for people like us, Mom.
2002 was a really fun and unique year for mainstream music. By this year, many trends from the 90s were still lingering around but slowly fading away as the 2000s were really starting to find its identity as a decade. Looking back, this year had a very notable and memorable lineup of musical releases with so much variety for everyone. Throughout the year, we witnessed the rise of many new artists, comebacks, and saw many artists release some of their best work. This year, we saw a wide variety of genres being represented in the mainstream, including hip-hop, rap, Latin, adult contemporary, singer-songwriter, country, punk rock, and nu metal, as well as many others. I feel like this year was just stacked with so many releases, making it one of the most standout and memorable years in music from the Y2K era, in my opinion. Back in the year 2000, Pink dropped her debut studio album, Take Me Home, to great success. During this time, her label was really trying to market her to a more urban audience, as the album was primarily R&B and soulful. Although the album produced a few hits, she grew dissatisfied with her sound and being marketed as a white R&B singer. Before she was Pink, she was black. Get it? Cause she was okay, anyways. After the success of this album, she released her sophomore record, Misunderstood, in late 2001. For this album era, Pink had more creative control where she changed her image and sound, going for a more modern, edgier pop rock sound. The music contains introspective themes and lyrics of personal insecurities, loneliness, self-identity, and family problems. It contains elements of a variety of other genres including blues, metal, hip-hop, new wave, and disco. Her label initially refused refused to put the album out, fearing that Pink's new direction and sound would result in commercial failure, but she fought for her vision and eventually convinced the label that the risk was worth it. And that's just a testament to just go with your gut and to just trust yourself, you know? Because when people tell you otherwise and people make you feel like you can't do this because it's not gonna look good and it's not gonna sell, you better believe in yourself. Throughout the year, Pink was able to score multiple major hits, including Just Like a Pill, Get the Party Started, and Don't Let Me Get Me, which all charted really high. These songs were everywhere in 2002 and became some of the biggest hits of the year. This album helped solidify her status in the industry and introduced us to the Pink we know and love. Also, back in the year 2000, rock band Linkin Park rose to international fame with the release of their debut album, Hybrid Theory. Hybrid Theory started gaining traction and popularity in 2001, and by the following year, the band and their songs were just everywhere. The album's lyrical themes deal with problems lead vocalist Chester Bennington experienced during his adolescence, including substance abuse and the constant fighting and eventual divorce of his parents, which is just so sad. The album would go on to resonate with fans and listeners, further helping the popularity of the record. It's also considered one of the most notable rock albums of all time. Dabbling in various genres including nu metal, rap metal, and alternative rock, Hybrid Theory became a staple in the genre and one of the hottest albums from that era. Some of the singles included One Step Closer, Crawling, and In the End. In the End was actually the most popular song from this album, where it peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became the 7th biggest hit of that year, according to the year-end list. With her natural charisma and girl next door personality, Ashanti quickly became one of the biggest breakout stars of the year. Ashanti was everywhere in 2002 as the next big thing in music, later becoming a dominant force in R&B. Ashanti guest appeared on the singles What's Love by Fat Joe and Always on Time by Ja Rule, which peaked at numbers 2 and 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 respectively. She later followed this up with the release of her self-titled debut album to great success. Her album debuted at number 1 on the US Billboard 200 and the top R&B hip-hop albums chart with first week sales of 503,000 units, which was the biggest first week sales for a debut female artist up until that point. Her debut single, Foolish, was a massive hit this year, peaking at the top spot for 10 weeks, making her the first female artist to have a number 1 and number 2 single simultaneously hold the top 2 positions. Her album had many other smash hits, including Happy and Baby, which were everywhere in 2002. As of now, Ashanti's album has sold over 6 million copies worldwide, making it one of the most popular albums of that year. Eminem continued his reign on top this year with the release of his highly anticipated 4th studio album, The Eminem Show, in May of this year. The album incorporates a heavier use of rap rock than Eminem's previous albums, and its themes are predominantly based on Eminem's prominence in hip-hop culture, as well as his overall thoughts of fame. This album also features political commentary of the United States, including references to 9/11, Osama bin Laden, the War on Terror, President George W. Bush, Lynn Cheney, as well as many other subjects. Due to its less satirical and shock factor lyrical approach, The Eminem Show was regarded as Eminem's most personal album at the time, and a step back from the Slim Shady alter ego. The Eminem Show debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and stood there for 6 non-consecutive weeks. The album was met with widespread acclaim, with praise directed at Eminem's mature, introspective lyricism and the album's experimental production. It produced many of Eminem's signature hits, including Cleaning Out My Closet, Without Me, Superman, and Sing for the Moment, as well as many others. I remember as a kid hearing Cleaning Out My Closet and watching the music video on MTV and just thinking that that song just spoke to me, you know? Like, I just remember being on the playground, like digging with my friends, imitating him in the music video when he's like digging outside. I'm getting ahead of myself. The Eminem Show was both the best-selling album of 2002 in the United States and the best-selling album worldwide of 2002, along with being the best-selling hip-hop album in music history and Eminem's most commercially successful album to date. As of today, it has sold over 27 million copies worldwide, making it one of the best-selling albums of all time and the second best-selling album of the 21st century, right behind Adele's album 21. It's also seen by many as one of the greatest albums ever created. Later that year, Eminem scored his first number 1 single on the Billboard Hot 100 with his global hit Lose Yourself from the 8 Mile soundtrack, where it dominated, staying number 1 for 10 weeks. Nelly was easily one of the hottest artists of 2002 with the release of his highly anticipated sophomore album Nellyville. With this album, Nelly would go on to dominate the year with some of the biggest songs all while beating the sophomore album slump. Throughout the year, Nelly released Hot in Here and Dilemma, which would go on to become some of the hottest songs of the year. With these two songs, Nelly had the entire summer of 2002 in a chokehold, as these songs were just inescapable that summer. Hot in Here was the summer anthem where it stayed #1 for 7 weeks. With its catchy melody and sing-along chorus, the song became an early 2000s anthem where it was played at every club, party, and barbecue that year. You just had to be there. Dilemma, which featured Destiny's Child member Kelly Rowland, quickly became one of the most memorable and standout songs of the year, as it dominated the charts, spending 10 weeks at the #1 spot. And to this day, nobody knows why Kelly Rowland was using an Excel spreadsheet in the music video. Yeah, what was that about? Let me know down below in the comments. Nelly was the hottest artist of the year and became a global superstar overnight thanks to his mainstream dominance this year. Some notable albums released this year included Beck's Sea Change, Missy Elliott's Under Construction, Nas's Godson, Celine Dion's A New Day Has Come, Clips's Lord Willing, Jay-Z's The Blueprint 2, The Gift and the Curse, Coldplay's A Rush of Blood to the Head, Shania Twain's Up, Eve's Evolution, Kirk Franklin's The Rebirth of, J-Lo's This Is Me Then, Sean Paul's Dutty Rock, India Ari's Voyage to India, Maroon 5's debut album Songs About Jane, Brandy's Full Moon, Justin Timberlake's debut Justified, Christina Aguilera's Stripped, Mariah Carey's Charm Bracelet, and Norah Jones' Come Away With Me, amongst many others. Canadian singer Avril Lavigne became the biggest breakout artist of 2002, as she was another rising artist who brought something fresh to the table. At just 16, Avril Lavigne released her debut studio album Let Go in June of this year. Let Go is a pop punk and alternative rock album with a grunge-oriented sound. Widely regarded as one of the most influential albums of the early 2000s, Let Go is credited with helping integrate pop punk into the mainstream and contributing to the rise of both female-fronted pop punk acts and female singer-songwriters, making it a shift away from the bubblegum pop sound that had dominated that era. She was kind of in a way a mini Alanis Morissette, as well as being labeled an anti-Britney by critics at the time. Some of the major singles included Complicated, Skater Boy, and I'm With You, as well as many others. Complicated became the standout single from this album, where it peaked at the #2 spot on the Billboard Hot 100, just blocked behind Nelly's smash hit Hot in Here. The album and its singles earned Lavigne 8 Grammy Award nominations, including Best New Artist, twice for Song of the Year, and Best Pop Vocal Album. It also sold over 16 million copies worldwide, making it her highest selling album to date and the best-selling album of the 21st century by a Canadian artist. Other major hits from 2002 included 1,000 Miles from Vanessa Carlton, Whenever Wherever from Shakira, Blurry from Puddle of Mud, You Got It Bad from Usher, Wherever You Will Go from The Calling, Work It from Missy Elliott, Can't Get You Out of My Head from Kylie Minogue, No Such Thing from John Mayer, My Sacrifice from Creed, Gangsta Lovin' from Eve and Alicia Keys, Hey Baby from No Doubt, All You Wanted from Michelle Branch, The Middle from Jimmy Eat World, and the unofficial 9/11 anthem Hero from Enrique Iglesias, as well as many others. Like I said earlier, 2002 was a pretty crazy and memorable year from start to finish. Other notable events that took place this year included the launch of the Ugly Dolls, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Monster energy drinks, the White Stripes releasing their Lego music video, Hairspray being released on Broadway, Napster being officially shut down, and the premiere of the iconic Disney Channel original movie Cadet Kelly, amongst many other things. So yeah, that was 2002, a pretty interesting and fun year to be alive. You just had to be there. I think 2002 was a pretty fun year. I also feel like this year was kind of underrated for some reason, as things would just get more interesting and crazier as the 2000s would evolve. So I just want to know from you guys, what'd you think of the year 2002? Do you have any fun memories from this year? Did you watch the new Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings films that came out this year? Were you a fan of Lilo and Stitch? Did you have any of these albums? Were you a fan of Eminem or Avril Lavigne or Nelly back in the day? Did you watch the Super Bowl this year? Did you play any of these video games? What was your favorite film of the year? What was your favorite TV show of the year? What was your favorite song of the year? And what'd you think of 2002 as a whole? Let me know down below. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate each and every one of you all. Feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more fun videos just like this. See ya!